All right, let's tackle some cellular energy, shall we? All right, so first one is just looking at the formula for cellular respiration. So 6 CO2 plus, I'm going to zoom it in a little bit, sorry, plus 6 H2O, which is carbon dioxide, water, and light gives us glucose. Who remembers the formula for glucose? I'm sure you're yelling at it, the screen right now with that formula, so go ahead and yell it for me. It is C6H12O6 plus 6O2, and O2 is oxygen. And we're going to compare that to the formula for cellular respiration. If you notice, we're just going to take these right here. So these are my products of photosynthesis, and these are my reactants. So cellular respiration takes the products of photosynthesis, which is glucose and oxygen, which is 6O2, and it yields, if you remember that arrow reads yield, 6CO2, which is carbon dioxide, plus water. These are the reactants of photosynthesis, so that's 6H2O, and ATP, and we know that ATP is energy. All right, awesome job. This down here at the bottom should look super familiar because we definitely did this in your notebook. So Mr. Sun, right? Mr. Sun, Mr. Golden Sun shines down on this chloroplast. Okay. The chloroplast puts out, what would you pick from here? Hopefully you're going to pick oxygen and sugar, and gives it to the mitochondria for cellular respiration. And the mitochondria is going to put out CO2 and water. And that's going to feed back into the chloroplast. In this cycle, I'm going to highlight over here where it says it's a cycle, because it just continues to go around and around. Plants breathe out the oxygen that we need. We breathe out carbon dioxide, which plants need, and it's just kind of a never-ending cycle. So let's take a look at this page. BTB, we all know what that is because we breathed in it and we turned it yellow. So note, in the presence of carbon dioxide, the chemical bromethymol blue will turn from blue to yellow. Okay, in the presence of carbon dioxide, so we remember that. So tube 1 is my control. Tube 2 has a green plant in it. Tube 3 has a snail, and tube 4 has a snail and a plant. Okay, so a plant and an animal, because a snail is an animal. So it says that only tube 3 turned yellow. I'm just going to highlight it in yellow here so that we know. Okay, what process took place to change the water in tube 3 from blue to yellow? Okay, why did we do that lab? I made you do a bunch of jumping jacks and jump around for a couple of minutes, and then you blew in the BTB and it turned from blue to yellow because you were doing cellular respiration. Okay, so why only tube 3 turned yellow? This is the daytime, right? Because we have sun, so sun equals daytime. 2, that means that the plant is doing photosynthesis. It's putting out oxygen, which would keep the BTB blue. And in 4, we have an animal and a plant, which means they are cycling CO2 and O2. So they're just continuing that cycle back and forth, like how we saw in the last slide. So why did 2 and 4 stay blue? So 2 was doing photosynthesis. And 4 was cycling, cellular respiration, and photosynthesis. So next set of pictures, it is nighttime now. So that's Mr. Moon, right? Good night, Moon. 1 is our control, remember. 2 has a plant in it. 3 has an animal, the snail, and 4 has the plant and the animal in it. So in the presence of BTB, it tells us that tube 2, 3, and 4 turned yellow. So all of these were yellow. Why? Why is this different from in the daytime? Because we know at night plants do not undergo photosynthesis, but in order to make their energy, plants use the products that they made during photosynthesis during the day and use cellular respiration at night. Okay, so because they were all doing cellular, I'll abbreviate it, I guess, respiration. And what is a waste product of cellular respiration? Carbon dioxide. So why did tube 1 stay blue? Notice that there's no plant or animal in tube 1. It's water. So tube 1 was our control. That's what we use to compare everything else to.